are we here? Good morning and welcome to Jansen Memorial Field here at Washington Park as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Washington softball and alumni ceremony. Good morning, everybody. Alongside me is Jonathan Michael. I'm Owen Dimple, and John, this is just a beautiful Saturday morning to play some softball.
I gotta say, Owen, a couple weeks ago, waking up at 8 a.m., not sure I say waking up at 5:45 a.m., being here at 8 a.m. to broadcast a softball game wasn't on the bingo card, but talked with head coach Stephanie Lawson and everything. We were able to work it out, and we're very excited to be here, Owen. A great day celebrating lots of history here for Washington softball, one of the oldest programs in the state. And lots of alumni on hand today. Big crowd just beyond yonder, beyond the Washington dugout right now. The band is on the field. And again, it's not even 8 a.m. yet. It's beautiful outside. Really looking forward to what today brings.
Yeah, and we've really brought out the community so far. I'm expecting a lot more to show up. And we have Bloomington coming across over to play the Washington Panthers. And let's get a good look at both teams, John.
Yeah, so, obviously, Mid-Illini versus Big 12 matchup. We love that at Clutch Sports Media. Ones that you get to see every once in a while, but not all the time. But Washington, a team that came into the year with high expectations. They've suffered some really close losses this year. I believe 6 one-run losses. They're much better than their 12-12 record suggests, and always a well-coached team by Stephanie Lawson. Bloomington, on the other hand, a team that, some people see it as a breakout candidate. They're 7-10 at the moment, but still doing pretty good in Big 12 play right now. They got a mix of young and new talent, the Purple Raiders do. So I think this should be a very evenly matched game between two teams that are right in the thick of their respective conference races.
And today's going to be a fun day, also on the softball, diving between these two teams, and then just a fun day to, recognize the past, the present, and possibly even the future of this Washington program.
Yeah, certainly. And again, you look, there's so many banners, all around the area here on the Washington dugout, and I believe over by the restroom building, or there's some other building over there that there were banners set up. And right behind us here, behind home plate, you can see all the trips that Washington has made to stay. Back in 1977, they were a Final Four contender. Who could forget? And I'm sure no one here will about that. And so, again, just really great day to be here. Sun's shining, and it's a great day to play some softball, Owen.
It sure is. And band out in shallow center field behind second base. Got umpires meeting with both head coaches for the Washington Panthers. It's Stephanie Lawson, and for Bloomington, that will be Rachel Quaritch,
I believe.
It's 8 a.m., John. We're gonna stumble through that.
Yep.
Yeah,
bear with us. This is certainly not the earliest I've woken up for a broadcast, but I believe this may be a record for one of the earliest times we've ever been on the air in the entire 5-year history of Clutch Sports Media. So, again, I don't know about you, Owen. I was able to, first alarm, slept through, but thankfully I set multiple because knowing myself, I like to sleep through most of them, but woke up on the second alarm, took a hot shower, and boom, ready to go. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not typically a morning person, but as soon as I get in that shower, I'm usually ready to go. And so I had my 6:15 alarm, and I was able to wake up first alarm, and I was ready to go as soon as I got in my car and drove over here to Washington Park.
Yeah, it is going to be quite a day. Washington players, they got some nice polka dot colored balloons, and as Stephanie lost, nice little wardrobe decision there. Again, not sure if maybe there's something behind it. We're not entirely sure, but there very well might be. I know that Washington, they were all dressed, they were all dressed in gray a couple days ago in support of brain cancer. So, a team that, very accomplished team as well. We'll get into more of that later. Lots of interesting stuff happening with Washington as with Bloomington as well.
Yeah, you made note of the pink shirts of the umpires. Usually you see the typical blue or the black shirts that they go with. But today they're going with a nice pink and making a fashion statement, John.
Can't say I'm making a fashion statement myself, but I got to say with Bloomington's purple, which I got to say, Bloomington's colorway, one of my favorite in the entire area. But, the purple and the pink is really going to, I think, mesh well today as, when Bloomington Batters are at the plate, obviously, which they will be first today. They are the visitors. They probably had an earlier morning than we did. They had to drive 45 minutes up I-74.
Yeah, and you wonder if that's going to play a factor in today's game, that they had to wake up earlier than Washington did. And so, early, like we said, early morning, 8 a.m., you're not typically used to these games. You're going back to probably your youth softball days when you woke up this early for, tournaments.
Yeah, probably, honestly. And, one of those, tournament days where you play 3 or 4 games in a day, and, hey, you can't play all day if you don't start in the morning. So, and, that will be interesting to do, keep an eye on, how much is this going to throw off the rhythm? Is it going to favor the pitchers? Is it going to favor the batters? Will it have no effect? We're not quite sure. But both starting lineups being introduced right now, and pretty sure we'll have alumni ceremonies coming shortly afterwards. Our Patrick Huber with us on camera. He's the one that will be able to see, even though we're behind the fence, he's the one that's allowing everyone to see the action. So we thank Patrick for also waking up as well, a crucial part of the operation.
Of course, you got to have the eyeballs of the broadcast, and Patrick certainly brings that, and he does a great job doing so.
Number 21, Brooklyn Bowman.
Looking at the lineups for both teams, we'll start with the visiting Bloomington Purple Raiders. Leading off will be Lauren Shuey, batting second. Abigail Witt, batting third. Bryn Hoder, batting fourth. Kennedy Lovell, batting fifth. Riley Vetter, batting sixth. Lauren Nichols, batting seventh. Macy Stevenson, batting eighth. Ava Cratcher, batting ninth. Alicia Swank, and then in the field as the designated player, number 13, Ella Moody.
And looking defensively, it's Shuey at shortstop, Abby Witt playing center field, Bryn Hoder at second base, Kennedy Lavelle behind the dish, and catching Riley Vetter, the pitcher for Bloomington, and we'll talk about her in a bit. She is one of the best in the area, only a sophomore for the Purple Raiders. And you got Lauren Nichols over in right field, Macy Stevens at third, Ava Cratcher over in left, and Swank, the designated player, and then Moody, the first baseman and flex player for the Purple Raiders.
And now for the hosting Washington Panthers. Leading off, it'll be Layla Harris, batting second, Peyton Swanson, batting third, Jenna Flessner, batting fourth, Malone McKinley, batting fifth, Bailey Herrick, batting sixth, Gracie Glob, batting seventh, Ellie Redlingshafer, batting eighth, Olivia O'Connell, batting ninth, Cammie Barth, and the designated player and flex position is Devin Malekish,
I believe.
Please proceed to your former position.
Yeah, it looks like
you hold your applause.
We are going to get our alumni ceremonies underway, I should say.
Number 1, pitcher, Deanna Burris.
There's Deanna Burris.
First base, number 14, Amanda Ware.
Amanda Ware, they're reading off their positions.
Outfield,
maybe
number 22,
a
Alexia
Washington
Ware.
all-time team.
Pitcher number 37, Samantha Leverton. Catcher number 37, Derry Zeiser. Third base number 33, Jane Grebner. Second base number 9, Mandy Schimmerhorn. Outfield number 7, Libby Atkins. Pitcher number 4, Kim Hargis. Second base, number 5, Amy Hartzler. In center field, number 4, Teresa Standish. Pitcher number 13, Michelle Reggio. In right field, number 24, Amy Martin. At second base, number 2, Jessica Grogg. At second base, number 4, Emma Gunther. In the outfield, number 3, J.C. Little. At second base, number 13, Julie Blevins. It's number 14, Rebecca Vaughn. At shortstop, number 9, Cassie Reed. At second base, Tammy Shortwood. Assistant coach, Jeff Little. At catcher, third base, number 24, Sadie Connor. At first base, number 34, Valerie Wise. In the outfield, number 23, Libby Lindsay. Pitching, number 22, Dawn Davis Purdue. In right field, number 25, Kim Supple. Catching, number 26, Rachel Mueller. Outfield, number 15, Tiffany Beschorner. Outfield, number 4, Kayla Ford. Shortstop, number 10, Tammy Brown. At first base, number 15, Annette Sinks. Catching, number 30, Nancy Roth. Third base, number 24, Trisha Roman. Pitching, number 22, Erica Grogg. Third base, number 1, Bailey Little. Catching, number 17, Kendall McKinley. Shortstop, number 5, Allie Scribner. Third base, number 13, Georgia Duncan. Outfield, number 3, Delaney Davis. First base, number 14, Carly Vaughn. Shortstop, number 9, Stephanie Ramsey. Outfield, number 8, Addie Bailey. Shortstop, number 5, Grace Scribner. Catcher, number 11, Kim Camp. Number 13, pitcher, Carrie Suttle. Number 8, Kennedy Tuckpell. And coach, Daryl Suttle. At this time, would you please remove your caps and put your hand over your heart? Libby Lindsay will be singing the national anthem. Libby was a member of the 2015 state championship team.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And welcome back after a great national anthem and ceremony honoring the previous alumni of the Washington softball program. And John, there's a great turnout of former players for this team.
Yes, there were. And, I said earlier, not quite sure. Maybe They announced the positions as well. Not sure if they were saying, oh, maybe this is an all-time team. No, that was just all of the alumni who made it back today. And obviously, if there's any who are joining us, obviously we appreciate you and thank you for being with us here this morning. We're proud and grateful to bring you today's coverage, but lots and lots of great players from Washington's past. A couple names that I recognize, some that were before at least my time here in the Peoria area, but recent names that we've heard of, like Grace Scrivener, Georgia Duncan, Carly Vaughn, and some other older ones as well. Maybe some players that were part of that first ever Washington team back in 1974. Again, Washington's program, one of the oldest in the entire state, and certainly in the entire Peoria area as well. And I was reading a story, that Kurt Pegler did, our good friends over at WMBD, did earlier this week, and he was talking with Clint Reed, who is, longtime Washington coach, and just a guy who's always been around the school. And, he was the first ever coach of Washington softball, or one of them. He said the only other team in the area when they started was Pekin. They played them 3 times in their 8-game season, and so just to see how far along the sport has come in 50 years has been great to see. And both these players are adding to their team's respective history as well.
Yeah, and you get a look at this field, and the players on this team, they could make a mark where maybe they're celebrating the 75th anniversary. They could come back and be honored on the field.
Yeah, they certainly can. We'll have to, I don't know, maybe they'll to come back for that one. I'll be probably about 48 or so. So hopefully still, young enough to, I still have my broadcasting chops with me.
Yeah, I think we could also make it a CSM reunion too. Get everybody together, put together, a broadcast again. That would be quite something.
It certainly would. Oh, no, great turnout on hand here at Washington. I'm not sure if you can see, there's a whole line of fans just lining the right field fence. Our Patrick Huber will get over and show that for you, but all of the pomp and circumstance is just about finished, ready to get going. And speaking of pomp and circumstance, Owen, it's graduation day for a lot of high schools, colleges around the area, starting to become that time. And I'm not sure if you want to tell our viewers, I don't think we've told everyone why this game is being played at 8 a.m.
Yeah, so that would be Bloomington's head coach. She's very young, and she is graduating later today from, I believe, ISU. So right there in Bloomington. How about that, John? A college student taking on a high school head coaching job. You don't see that too often.
No, Rachel Quaritch, she's getting her master's degree from ISU today. So obviously ISU, for in case you're not familiar, Illinois State University, just again right down I-74, right there, just down the road from Bloomington High School. And obviously, congrats to her. She's a former Southern Illinois University Edwardsville softball player. And Stephanie Lawson, head coach of Washington, also played college softball back in the day. She played for Bradley.
Yeah, just in the backyard. You kind of just see the connections between both head coaches, coaching in the area that, they currently are in with, Kortrich attending ISU and coaching the Bloomington Purple Raiders, and then you have Lawler being the Bradley alumni as well. And, talk about that Bradley softball team. I know they had their season cut short just the other day in the quarterfinals of the MVC tournament, but they certainly had a great turnaround for a second season under head coach Sarah Willis.
Yeah, they certainly did. It was fun to see that team play. I was their PA announcer for most of the season. Not every game, but I was able to get out to most games, and it was fun watching them play and really see them how much they improved this year. As they honor Clint Reed, the man behind together.
Third place game, so it was only fitting that this would be the outcome of the 89-team season. And as Coach Reed says, only 2 teams end their season with a win, first and third place. After induction into the Hall of Fame in 2021, the 89 team wanted to honor Coach Reed for his profound influence on their lives, not to mention the thousands of hours he'd spent tending to this diamond. The team has a gift to unveil today, along with this message. Coach Reed, it's only fitting that this field bears the name of Jan Smith, a great softball coach. And now, it also includes a tribute to you, another great coach who in his first season led the Panthers to a very special third-place finish. Your first varsity team will never forget that season and is forever grateful for you and your part in the Panthers softball legacy. On behalf of the 1989 team, thank you, Coach Reed.
And we see a great ceremonial opening first pitch, and no better way to get today started off with the first pitch from the man who really created all of this.
Yeah, Clint Reed, again, he ones that
Puts
puts this whole ceremony together, and again, just really, one of the pioneers of Washington softball is you see him embraced with Stephanie Lawson there, and great to see him throw out the first pitch, even though he's nursing a arm injury right now. Overall, still pretty good first pitch from Clint Reed, and boy, what a day it is for him. I mean, 50 years. I mean, celebrations like this don't happen every day, and I'm sure that he's spent so much time and effort into putting this day together. And maybe I think game time probably had to be changed as well when they found out that, hey, Bloomington's head coach has got to walk across that stage later today. So appreciate him and everyone else for rolling with the punches, and as well as for you at home, maybe kicking off your Saturday with some softball action. It should be, again, don't want to take away from the game as well. Obviously, big day for the alumni, big day for the program of Washington, but we're going to see a really good softball game, I think, between these two teams, as well as look at Riley Vetter, and she's put up some pretty good stats this season, but it's Jenna Flester who we'll see first in the circle for the Panthers.
Yeah, kind of a 1-2 punch from the Panthers. You wonder if you're going to start Flessner right away and see if you can grab a lead, and then bring in Vetter to close out the game.
Well, Vetter's on Bloomington, so I don't know if I'm not sure if Washington will be bringing in Bloomington, but
probably not. You never know if you have.
Unless it's a mid-game trade.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could play some banana ball with this. It's a ceremony. Have fun with it. Why not? Why not? And we're ready for first pitch. And hitting the zone right away for strike one against Shuey.
And Jenna Flester, a Valparaiso softball commit. I did a story on her just a week or two ago, and it was really great getting to talk with her. Interesting story. And so she's a junior right now, only played in one varsity game her sophomore year, and she's still committed to play Division I softball. Before the season even started, she gets a strikeout right away to start this one, but big summer of work for her, and over the off season went to lots of camps and showcases, and initially got a lot of junior college interest, and then eventually she went to a camp at Valparaiso. Coaching staff liked her, she liked them, and then boom, that's how it happened. And again, very talented player from Washington that still has another year left playing with the Panthers.
Certainly, John, and you've seen before the strikeout. Quick work from the pitcher in the circle, Flesner. 3 pitches already gone, and now down in the count 2-0. Slapped down the third base line and foul. That was a great job by the third baseman to grab that one. Quick glove over there, and you have to be a quick glove when you're playing in like that, and especially with the slapper. Here's the 2-1, and hits the bottom outside edge for strike 2, evens the count 2-2.
Over at third base for Washington, they got Bailey Herrick today, and normally she's their pitcher for Washington. And how about the off speed from Flester? Just dropped in there, caught the edge.
Some nasty stuff right there, and already making quick work of this Purple Raider offense as they'll send up Hoder. That'll be Bryn Hoder, the senior. Here's the first pitch to Hoder. Outside a little bit for ball 1. Makes the count 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Big swing and nothing to show for. Evens count 1-1. Yeah, John, you just see everybody line up the fence line, and Most days you'll see everybody on the stands, but not too much room for stands here. So you got to go with the next best option in the fence line.
And, maybe, standing probably requires a little bit more bodily energy. Maybe helps you wake up a little bit. Also a good vantage point as well. Obviously we're behind the fence right now. They have an uninterrupted view. I just saw Washington go 1-2-3. Nice work there by Jenna Flessiter in the first half inning.
Yeah, 3 Ks all in a row. That's a big start for Washington. Now they'll get the chance to put some offense up early against Vetter. John, what is going to be the keys for Washington to be able to battle with Vetter today?
Well, I think you need to get contact. That's for sure. Try and make Bloomington make a play. Vetter is showing a really big bat missing ability this year. She's had 144 strikeouts in just about 92 innings or so. So she can strike them out with the best of them. And so if you're watching, just get contact, hit some ground balls, make them make a play. Try and use your speed for sure. Vetter is overall pretty stingy. First team All Big 12 player last year in just her freshman season. So, future is bright and for Bloomington, as we touched on earlier, and Vetter's a big reason why.
Always great when you can have underclassmen perform like that, because it gives you stability and great safety blanket, knowing that you're going to have that player for the next couple years to come, and you can kind of build your program around that. And it all starts with great pitching too, especially at the high school level. When you talk about baseball and softball, you need to have great starting pitching. More so with baseball, with the pitch count, you need be 3-4 deep. But if you can have 2, and even if you can get like a third that can get you outs, that's going to take you a long way, especially when you come to the postseason, which is coming up very quickly.
Yeah, Will, and certainly, and softball, especially in high school, usually most teams only use about between 2 and 4 pitchers the entire season, because you can just do that. The pitching motion in softball, less wear on the arm, so they can throw their best pitchers like Riley Vetter, for example, more often. You can't do it every game, but you can certainly have them go way more often than you would, say, a baseball pitcher, for example. So I'd argue that in softball it's almost more crucial to have, because you have less pitchers. So if you don't have that 1 or 2 really good pitchers, and you're significantly behind the 8 ball.
And already 2 pitches in, both have sailed high, with Harris up at the dish. 2-0 for Riley Vetter. She's ready to go. Here's the pitch. Just missed the top of the zone, and Harris way up in the count, 3-0. You got to wonder if she's going to have the green light or possibly the red light.
Now, she'll probably have the red light here, as Vetter settles in. Hasn't missed by much. That one catches the bottom inside corner.
On a 3-1 count, got to wonder if Layla Harris is looking for a fastball to barrel up and send deep into the outfield.
And she's had a really good year for Washington, been a consistent presence in their lineup and playing shortstop for them. Certainly a contender for Mid-Illini All-Conference honors this season. Again, she's a junior, so she'll get to come back next year as well.
Vetter has worked her way back from 3-0. Here's a 3-2, and fouled sharply off the third base line. We'll do the 3-2 all over again.
And even though we're only 4 batters into the game, we're still looking for our first ball in play so far. So maybe all the position players today get a little extra time to wake up. Maybe they like that hard ball hit right to them, though, to get them going too.
Yeah, it wakes you up, certainly. 3-2 in the dirt, and we'll have our first base runner of the game as Layla Harris takes the walk.
And good eye there from Harris. Obviously good job from Vetter too, coming back from 3-0. But especially after you had those first 2 strikes, it can be tough, because it makes you want to swing a bit more. Harris had to lay off in that pitch, and she's ready to go at first. She's got some speed as well. Takes a big lead off.
That was another high pitch from Vetter. So far, leading off against these top 2 hitters in the Panthers offense, she's sailed her first pitches to both. And you wonder if you're head coach Lawson, you're telling your players to, take a couple pitches before you even get a strike. That one taken outside again, 2-0. Swanson may have the bunt sign down, ready to move Harris over.
How about Swanson, a freshman for Washington, pulls back the bunt, but still a strike regardless. But, Swanson, again, you have a freshman bat in this 2-hole-year lineup. That takes a lot of trust from your head coach, and, Swanson has delivered so far this season.
That one fouled off the top of the bat from Swanson, and now facing an even 2-2 count. You got to wonder if the bunt sign's still going to be on, John.
Yeah, usually they pull back unless you're really confident you can get one down, so I think Swanson will probably be swinging here.
Yeah, our coach said if I gave you the bunt sign, I already gave up on you, so you're going for the third time. And there's a strikeout there from Vetter, a big one early. So one away, still with Harris on at first, and it'll be the pitcher, Flessner, stepping up to the plate.
And Flessner can swing the bat too as well, as I'm a big fan of her walk-up song, Swag Surfin'. That's an absolute classic.
And there goes Harris. She's going to slide in safely into second, and a great job by the left fielder from the Purple Raiders. That was Ava Cratcher. There was nobody covering third base as Stevenson was racing in for the bunt coverage. She did a great job covering third to make sure that Harris stayed put at second base.
Yeah, again, those throws, if they sail wide, they can be very costly because, especially with one out, and it sets up potential sacrifice fly situation with a runner on third, then boom, Washington's already on the board. But, you never want to give another team any more extra bases than what you want. So good job there by the Bloomington outfield.
Great off-speed pitch right there. Just missed the zone. That's a very difficult two-strike pitch to take if you're Flessner. Makes it a 1-2 count, one away. Harris in scoring position at second. Here's the pitch from Vetter. High and away, ball two, evens the count.
Yeah, that's if Vetter has missed it, it's usually been where she's missed, it's usually been high. So we'll see that continues to be the case, or if she'll get strikeout number two. We saw Flessner strike out the side in her first time, and Vetter returns the favor.
Another strikeout. So far, John, all the outs in this 5 outs of the total first inning have all been via the strikeout. So the pitchers already finding ways to miss the barrels of each bat.
So we'll get Malone McKinley dig in for Washington. She's been one of those heart and soul pieces of this Panthers team. One of a couple seniors for Washington that are probably they're getting ready to graduate themselves.
0-1 taken inside for strike two. And now McKinley's going to have to go to work here. Down 0-2, two away with a runner in scoring position. Vetter has the count ready to go. Inside, just missed. She kind of walked off the circle thinking that was going to be a called strike three.
Honestly, Owen, from my vantage point, we're obviously a little off center, not right behind the plate. That looked close. I can see Vetter, why she thought she may have had that one.
Another good pitch right there, evens the count 2-2. Yeah, so far when she's gotten into two strike counts, she'll throw it just off the edge, and it's very, very close. You want to try and just get those hitters to believe and chase it. That one missed again, and now from 0-2 to 3-2, Malone McKinley is in the driver's seat.
Again, Harris showed a good eye. And Washington's been, having some patient at-bats, I think, as Vetter does get the strikeout. So both pitchers strike out the side in the first inning, and I think, maybe that was just to kind of feel them out inning or so, but pitchers dominating so far through one here in Washington.
Yeah, so far could be a good indicator of what's to come. A great circle battle between Flessner and Vetter. Harris was the lone base runner to get on, so the Panthers strand one in scoring position. As we move into the top of the second, we'd like to say this game is brought to you by Jake Weston at State Farm. For more information, call 309-444-4441 or visit JakeWestonInsurance.com.
Probably most people in Washington probably know the name by now, especially if they tune in to Clutch Sports Media coverage a lot. But if you don't, now you do. Jake from State Farm has got you covered for all of your insurance needs.
Coming up next for the Bloomington Purple Raiders, it'll be Lavelle, Vetter, and Nichols as they look to get their first base runner of the game so far, as Flessner struck out the side in the first inning, 1-2-3.
Yeah, and, Bloomington overall, a team that, by and large, most of their offensive production comes from the first 5 players in their lineup or so. Usually, that's the Witt, Shuey, Hoder, Lavelle, and Vetter. But, again, if you can get a hit from, one of your bottom of the lineup batters and, get a girl on base, maybe send over a bunt, you never know what can happen, as Lavelle, she leads the team in pretty much every, at least, average sort of category. Leads the team in average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage as well this season.
Yeah, good indicator why she's batting 4th in this Purple Raider lineup. 1-1 count taken outside and makes it 2-1. And you said it, John, you got to find ways to get on base. As soon as you get base runners, anything can happen. We saw in the first inning, Harris stole second base. You can do that, but you play a lot of small balls. There's another swing and miss from Lavelle. Makes the count 2-2. But the main denominator of everything is that you need base runners if you're going to be able to score.
Yeah, for sure. And, obviously, you can get runs via the big hits as well over home runs as we get our first fair ball of the game.
Therefore, Herrick does a nice job fielding it cleanly and sending it over to first. That was Redling Schaefer on the receiving end of that putout. So one away so far here in the top of the second, and Riley Vetter will step into the batter's box. First pitch, swung on, hit into right center gap. That's going to fall. Oh, I'm sorry, that went over the fence. Couldn't quite see it. Got the pole right in front of me, but Vetter pokes that one out in right center and puts the Purple Raiders up first, 1-0.
How about that, Owen? And talk about broadcasters' jinx. I just said that, you can't get the big hits, but, you don't want to rely on them too much. Riley Vetter maybe overheard me in the on-deck circle and decides, well, I'll put one over the fence and see how you like that. What a shot there from Bloomington. I think that her and most of her teammates knew it as soon as it came off the bat.
Yeah, I got every piece of that one, barreled it up and drove it out. So after 4 up and 4 down for Flessner against this Purple Raider lineup, she allows the solo shot to Riley Vetter. And the first pitch to Nichols is taken for ball 1. Popped up and behind the fence, and evens the count 1-1.
Believe it. Had a spectator in the shoulder who looks like he's all right, but that was headed right for the fans.
Always got to keep a head on a swivel. You never know.
Hopefully my car is safe. That was my question when I was parking is, am I safe from any foul balls? I believe I am, but you never know as Flessner forces a ground out there from Nichols.
A great throw by Herrick. Kind of on the run, 1 foot, kind of almost like a quarterback on the gridiron, just nice 1 foot slingshot over. And yeah, going back to the whole foul ball in the parking lot, I think, if we're going to get behind the physics of it, you got to really get a hold of it and some backspin with it. If you're going to launch it way over there, as that's off to our, somewhat, I'm going to say 45-degree angle from the field to our right.
Yeah, I'd say maybe about 2:30 o'clock or so, 2 o'clock from the field. So, I mean, you really have to clock one, I think, at least to get it over there. But
There's dribbler, and nice job fielding by Flessner to grab that one. So she allows the solo shot, but other than that, 3 ground outs to retire the side.
And a good job coming back there from Flessner. She didn't let, that home run, bother her that much. And, Bloomington, on the other hand, I think that, we saw a little bit more of an aggressive approach, okay? Those first 3 girls may have been in the dugout saying, okay, hey, this is what she's throwing. This is what I saw up at the plate. Use that when you're up at the plate. And, they were more aggressive, got more pitches to hit, and obviously got that big home run from Riley Vetter, her first of the season. I think that may also, again, as long as the stats on Max Preps are correct, I believe that's Bloomington's first home run of the entire season. Won't say that for certain, but I believe it is.
Wow, some incredible stuff right there. And, yeah, just a great job, powering her team so far today with the home run and then 3 strikeouts in the circle. We'll see her do it again here in the bottom of the second, as the Panthers will send up Herrick, Glob, and Redlingschafer.
And Herrick has, been such a big player for Washington this year. And pitching a majority of their games, so hitting 5th in the lineup. So, she's one of those players that you're going to miss a lot because, she's going to leave a big hole in both, pitching and hitting as well. But, like you said, still got some business to take care of. The postseason is rolling around soon. We'll talk more about that later. But both teams, again, get ready for the Class 3A run, and most of which has been at least headlined this year by Metamora and East Peoria. Both those 2 teams in the Mid-Illini having great seasons.
Yeah, looking at the remaining schedules for both squads here, Bloomington will travel to Lincoln, Danville, and then host Galesburg before playoffs start. As Herrick takes that for the first ball, makes it count 1-2. For Washington, they still have 2 big conference games between Dunlap, Morton, and then hosting Normal Community to round out their regular season as well.
If I'm not mistaken, are these 2 teams matched up in the playoffs? Well, we'll see. That one may leave the yard.
And it sure does. So back to, home runs from each squad in the second inning, and that one was just a high towering shot from Herrick.
The little Ezekiel Elliott-esque eat-em-up celebration there. And, man, playing home run derby here on Saturday morning. That'll wake you up. And how about that shot from Bailey Herrick? Vetters, when it came off the bat, I wasn't quite sure if that one would leave that one. I heard it, I saw it, I'm like, yep, that one's gone.
Yeah, and I didn't have a pole in my way, so I could see that one clearly go over the fence as well. But, what a shot from Herrick to tie this one up at 1. And now that'll be Glob, the designated player, stepping up into the box. Watches that one sail for ball 1.
How about that one? 2 home runs in the first 2 innings of this one. Not sure if.
Low for strike 1. Yeah, I wonder if they ever thought about putting together a home run derby for alumni weekend.
Now that would be fun. That would be lots of fun. I'm putting all my money on Clint Reed to win it. I think he would be hitting probably 300-foot dingers left and right.
It would be a spectacle for sure. Get everybody. Who knows the last time they swung a bat? Just see what they can do still. See if they still got it. 2-1, dribbler, third base, nice field, and fired over to first. That was Stevenson. High hopper, but a great job keeping eye level with the ball, and that makes the clean play for the first out.
And Stevenson's, had a nice glove over there at third base. Again, the third baseman has really been the only player on both sides that's been challenged in the field so far, but so far both Stevenson and Herrick stepping up and getting those plays made. Again, you can't overlook them. They may seem like simple ground balls, but hey, you don't make that play, you overthrow it, then boom, runners on second base, and you might be giving up another run.
That one fouled straight back behind the press box. Makes it 1-1 to Redlingschafer, today's starting first baseman. And Redlingschafer, she's quite the athlete for Washington. She's heavily involved. We've seen her on the basketball team. She's been track and field. Oh, and she takes
her to the dome. But that's why you wear a helmet. She looks like she's all right.
Yeah, I definitely want to make sure she's okay. Umpires are going to call time, make sure. And it looks like she's ready to go. Kind of shakes it off.
Right fielder number
She's ready to go.
I think that was more of a glancing blow than a direct hit, which was good in the case of Redling Schaefer. And again, Owen, just like you mentioned, that's what I thought that that she was on the basketball team, but no, I forgot that's Ellie Redling Schaefer, the softball player. Ainsley Redling Schaefer is on the basketball team. So I believe there are two very athletic sisters, but I'm sure that Ellie maybe has played some in the driveway with Ainsley before.
Oh, of course, if you got siblings, they're always outside it, whether that be in the driveway, backyard, doing whatever, keeping it competitive. There's a drive into left center. That's going to fall for a base hit. O'Connell with another hit for the Panthers, and it makes it with one away, runners at first and second. Panthers threatening as we get to the bottom of the lineup with Cammie Barth coming up to the plate.
A big opportunity here for Washington to already build on. They've already scored one here in the inning with that big homer there from Herrick to left center.
Tries to bunt, missed it. She fouled it straight back behind the catcher.
I think the bunt play here is, pretty good. Certainly one that I would definitely, consider. Barth, maybe she's got enough speed, can lay out a single. Stevenson playing in at third.
Squares around again, lays it down right in front. Great bunt. Fired over in time to first. Vetter, no hesitation, picked it up and got the out, but a great sacrifice bunt from Barth to move the runners. And now with two away, it'll reset the lineup to Harris.
Shortstop number 9.
And, she came in, had a job assigned to her, and she did her job. So nice job there by Cammie Barth. And, now Washington's a base hit away from taking potentially a 2-run lead.
Spikes it. Coming home to the plate is Redling Schaefer, and she scores. A wild pitch from Vetter allows the second run of the inning for the Panthers.
And that was one of Vetter's rare low misses so far today, but again, Redling Schaefer was able to pretty much scoot across home uncontested, no throw there from the catcher Lavelle.
Still another big run out there at third base as there's a hack from Harris. That one was high and away, kind of chased that one. In the first inning, they left one in scoring position at second. Looking to capitalize here.
That's going to be a big key for Washington going into the playoffs. They've been kind of a close game magnet. Every game they play, at least most of them seem to be decided by, just a couple of runs. So it's really going to come down to, are you going to be able to take advantage of your opportunities? Because Washington's had a lot of them so far this year. It's just been a matter of, can they take advantage of them or not, as Harris fouls it away. Remember, she drew that walk in the first inning, so we'll see if she can battle back from being down 1-2.
Yeah, and it's all about taking advantage of, these type of situations. 2 outs, runner at third. Against a great pitcher in Vetter, you're only going to get tougher pitching competition as you move forward into playoffs. You're going to see everybody's best.
Yep.
Here's the 1-2. Poked into right field and caught. Oh,
No!
Off the glove. Off the glove of Nichols. And going to third is Harris.
Wow.
I mean, John, that one was in the pit of the glove and just popped out. Not exactly sure what happened there, but it brings in a third run of the inning for the Panthers. I think I got to mark that as an error. I don't like making errors in my scorebook, but I believe that's got to be an error.
I think that would be E9. It looked like Nichols had it, but it just popped right out of her glove. And how about the speed from Harris? That's what I was about to say. That ball dropped in the blink of an eye. I thought, okay, well, Harris probably may go to second. Third, though, I don't think so. But, hey, her speed got her around there. Now she is only 60 feet away from scoring with Peyton Swanson at the plate.
Swanson takes the first pitch low for ball one, and, yeah, Harris just swapped places with O'Connell on that last at-bat. Maybe Swanson can do the same. Here's the 1-0. And high strike, evens the count 1-1.
A good spot there from Vetter. The looking strikes that have been called today, she's put in some really good spots.
And for Vetter, you're just looking for any way to get out of this inning without any more damage. As there's more damage into left center. Swanson rounding first, and we'll have a stand-up double as she brings in Harris for the 4th run of the inning.
And that was just right up the alley. I mean, right in between the left and center fielders there, and it's a nice piece of hitting there
Now batting for the Panthers,
from
pitcher
Swanson.
number 7, Jenna Lester.
So, again, Vetter's still not out of the inning. You got to find a way to just get out of this, get into the dugout and, rely on your best to get you back into this game. But how about the hitting from Washington for really both teams? Again, after that first inning, I wasn't quite sure. Like, maybe we may have that pitcher's duel that we talked about earlier, but now that's not quite the case. This could be a runs fest. Who knows?
Still here in the bottom of the 2nd. At Washington Park, that one poked into right field again, going back and over her head, as that's Flessner with another RBI double. And that brings across Swanson, so a long inning gets even longer for Flessner as head coach Korch is going to have to go check out her pitcher.
I see Vetter shaking her arm maybe a little bit there. One thing I noticed, Vetter going with the rolled up sleeves today. I didn't know if, Bloomington maybe just had sleeveless jerseys, but she rolled them up and sports a little arm sleeve that you maybe see on some basketball players. So it was interesting to see how players accessorize themselves and everything, but looks like she will stay in the game and continue on battling. But now you got the heart of the order coming up. You got Herrick right now. If it were to get there, or no, you have McKinley right now, excuse me. If it were to extend another batter, it would get to Bailey Herrick. So there's danger all up and down this Washington order.
Yeah, and she led off the inning with the home run, and John, these past 3 runs have all came with 2 outs, so some great 2-out hitting by this Panther offense. If you're head coach Lawson, you got a lot of work to be done so far, but very positive inning. Anytime you can score multiple runs early in a game.
Yeah, and some of these runs are going to be unearned for Vetter because Nichols. Because that error by Nichols would have ended the inning, but again, the ball just had a mind of its own and popped right out. And since then, Washington has scored, I believe, 2 more runs. So
Malone McKinley in her first at-bat struck out looking to end the inning. That one popped up and out of play for strike 2. So now in an 0-2 count, 2 away, runner at second. Vetter has a chance to get out of this inning one more time.
Yes, you need a strike. That's all you need, but you are ahead in the count, so you do have the opportunity to, maybe mess around and give him something to chase for, as she does right there. But
yeah, just bait pitches. That's what you call them. You're way up in the count. You can just kind of go away from the zone, see if a hitter's overly aggressive and wants to chase it.
Going fishing.
And here's the 1-2. That one off speed, popped up, shallow second base, and caught by Hoder. So the Panthers get 5 across in the bottom of the 2nd to take a 5-1 lead over the Purple Raiders.
That's a fantastic inning, there for Washington. Started out with that bang, that home run from Bailey Herrick. Again, just some really good opportune hitting, and that's exactly what you need to respond from Bloomington's first punch, which, in case you're just tuning in, solo home run by Riley Vetter over to center field back in the first. And that makes it a little bit more impressive too. I mean, she really had to clear that ball. Center field is obviously the deepest part of the park, so Vetter's got some power in that bat as well, and she put it on display, and that was a moonshot beyond the fence.
Yeah, that one, just about went into the trees from our angle. So far, Vetter just the only hit for the Purple Raider offense, as they'll go 8-9 and then reverse to the top of the order with Cratcher, Swank, and Shuey coming up to face Flessner. Flessner just about ready to start the top of the 3rd here at Jan Smith Memorial Field at Washington Park. I've never been here, John, but first impression, this is a beautiful softball diamond.
Yeah, no, it really is. Nice little, nice little park as well. One that is, a lot of different uses, lots of other diamonds here. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a pretty big park. It's one that there's a road that kind of bisects the park. Not sure it's on the other side that much, but next to a school as well. And it just feels even better when it's a nice day outside like it is right now. I mean, we are just being blessed with some fantastic weather and a pretty fantastic catch there, Kimmy Barth in center field.
Yeah, Barth doing a great job getting the first out of the inning for the Panthers. And, going back to talking about the location of the field, I don't know about you, John, but I'm always a big fan of backdrops, no matter if it's a softball diamond, baseball field, football. I just love backdrop looks. You can really get some unique ones all around the country. And, it seems basic with the trees, but I like it. I really do.
I do too. Not every high school field has that. There's some that are just kind of just an open field, nothing really much hanging out back there. But it probably honestly favors the hitter a little bit because you have all that natural green, I was going to say shrubbery, but I should say, I don't know, arbory? Is that a word? Trees? Arbory? I don't know. But, you have all of that back behind you, and, it helps to see the ball a little bit better. Obviously, softball is a little bit different than baseball. We have a white ball, maybe a bit harder to see. Softball balls are, fluorescent yellow, so they're already a lot easier to see. But, it does probably give it a little bit of a contrast to the batter a bit, and, it probably helps them out. But it is very scenic, and, Owen, I was actually on I believe I was on Instagram earlier this week, and I saw something. It was a picture of a high school stadium. I think it may have been in Kentucky.
I know exactly the picture you're talking about.
A huge, just behemoth of a rock of some sort behind the center field fence. It just surrounded it. It's almost like it was made for a baseball field to be there. And boy, that was pretty cool. I can't remember the name of the high school or where exactly it was, but it was a really, really cool backdrop there to see. And man, imagine getting to do games there. That would be pretty awesome.
Certainly. Let's take CSM on the road to good old Kentucky.
Let's do it.
As Swank grounded out to the pitcher Flessner for the second out of the inning and resets to the top of the order, Shuey.
I tell you, while we're down in Kentucky, I'd like to put in a bid for broadcasting the Kentucky Derby, one of my favorite sporting events of the entire year. Did you watch that last week, Owen?
I was able to catch the very end, and it was a great ending.
That's what I did too. I turned it on. I realized I'm like, oh, the Derby's about to start. I thought I was going to be late. Turned it on, got there right in time. Below McKinley gets there right in time to put Bloomington away 3 up and 3 down. But boy, Mystic Dam, what a race! I mean, that finish was just unbelievable. And then the next day you see the NASCAR finish was a photo finish as well. So there's all sorts of great stuff happening on the sports world. And again, high school playoffs coming up. That's going to be lots and lots of fun as well as May rolls along. So really great time to be a sports fan. And, before, the middle of the summer hits, then you just have baseball. Nothing wrong with that. But, right now you got all sorts of different things going on. So
certainly. And ending that inning was the catcher home plate. As a catcher, it's principle to know that you have to turn your back to the infield if you want to have your best chance to make that catch because of the backspin with that ball. And most catchers don't know that or haven't really been coached enough on that to know that in game. So McKinley with a great heads-up play to make the third out.
But, Owen Dimple, a seasoned catcher, he does know enough to make that play. So, Owen, I'm excited to see what other catching knowledge you can drop during the rest of the broadcast because honestly I didn't really do much catching when I played baseball, so I'm a little bit uneducated on the craft.
Well, honestly, John, I've played every position. I've played baseball a long time, and the catching position, just take a guess on how many total innings I've played throughout 18 years of playing the game.
Oh boy, 500.
One inning. One inning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, your expertise severely outweighs how much experience you have behind the plate. So, hey, how about that?
Big swing and a miss from, that is Herrick, who homered in the previous inning, part of the 5-run home run parade for the Panthers. Yeah, just one inning, and it was a JV game. I was sitting on the bench. There's a strikeout from Vetter. I was sitting on the bench for that game, not expecting to play, and it was a doubleheader JV game, and my coach said to me, he was like, "You never caught before?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And he was like, "Well, looks like you're doing that today. Put on the gear." And I said, "Okay." So I put on the gear, and the funny thing about it is that obviously my first time catching, I never had to put on that gear. And so I think I know what I'm doing. You got all the straps of the chest protector. You got the shin guards, and I tried my best to get every one of them, but they were all loose, and I was worried about getting out there in time to help my pitcher warm up. And
oh man,
I was a hot mess, John. That's what that was. I was a hot mess. But hey, in that one inning we did go 3 up, 3 down. So
there you go.
I'll tip my own hat for that.
There you go. That's quite the story, Owen. I had something I was gonna say. I briefly escaped my mind, but I would say I've probably only caught about 1 inning as well. I was mainly an infielder, usually second or first base. Oh, I was gonna say that with your coach saying that hey, you haven't caught before, we'll go out and play catcher. Reminds me of that one time that in spring training. Remember that time where Will Ferrell played for like a bunch of different teams in a single day and played like every single position in like multiple games in a single day? That was something. I somehow remember that from about like 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah, that's approaching 10 years. That was 2015 when that happened, and I believe he suited up for 11 different ball clubs. And I mean, I know they don't keep spring training records, but that's got to be a record for transaction in one day as
it has to be.
Glob pops up in the foul territory, and a nice catch by Nichols for the second out.
That's got to feel good for Nichols again, who had that that tough drop last inning and makes a good play there to make up for it. Wouldn't have hurt Bloomington either way. It would have been a foul ball, but now that gives your pitcher another out and one step closer to getting out of the inning as Redling Schaefer digs in. She was hit by a pitch her first time up.
And it's all about finishing the inning. You can get 2 outs very quickly, but you got to get that third out to get off the field. In last inning, Vetter was able to get 2 outs, but then it just kept on going for the Panthers offense. She spikes that one into the dirt for ball 2, makes it 2-0 to Redling Schaefer. You got to get that third out just to get out of the inning, and maybe the Panthers, nobody on base, 2 outs, could start another 2-out rally.
Yeah, well, if any team can string together hits, then we saw last inning that it was proved by Washington. So if you're a veteran, you can't just because you got those first 2 outs doesn't mean you can say, okay, well, I'm almost there. I can, don't have to bring my best stuff here, but that she will. And again, just a sophomore for Bloomington, and she's had some sisters that have been some Bloomington softball alum that have gone on to play at the next level. Her sister Ellie is playing at Parkland College, the Cobras, down near the Champaign area. They're making a playoff run right now. And then her sister Molly, an all-conference softball player at McKendree University.
3-1 count to Redling Schaefer, and another batter where Vetter falls behind 3-0 very quickly. That one popped up out of play and makes the count 3-2. A few times she's fallen down in the count right away, 3-0. But multiple times in those instances, she's came back to make it a full count.
I was going to say, yeah, we usually haven't had, many, but a lot of fighting back by both pitchers and batters today. But this time it's Glob, or I should say Redling Schaefer, that draws the walk. So there's that base runner for Washington. And, again, not what you want to see for the Purple Raiders, but maybe this inning will turn out different than last.
You never want to issue walks, especially with 2 outs, but, looking at you're facing the bottom part of the lineup.
I'm going to pose you a question. Would you rather give up a 2-out walk or walk the first batter of the inning? What would you prefer less?
Prefer less.
I feel like you go either way on it, honestly.
I'm going to say 2 outs because you just need outs to begin with. You never want to issue walks. Walks come back to hurt you. As there's a blooper, doesn't even leave the infield from O'Connell. So 2 hits on the day for O'Connell. And already now that 2-out walk into scoring position with Cammie Barth coming up to the plate.
And we talked earlier about, getting that production from the bottom of your lineup. O'Connell, the 8th-place hitter, 2 for 2 day, and, both times he just extended the inning. And, let's say O'Connell doesn't reach that last inning, then who knows what would have happened for the Panthers. Maybe we still have a tie ball game, but
As Barth flies that one out to right field, and Nichols is there to retire the side. The Panthers threaten there in the bottom of the third, but no runs are plated, and it remains a 5-1 Panther lead over the Purple Raiders.
And nice job there by Bloomington to help keep this one close. Again, don't want Washington to blow it open. Bloomington's still very much in this game. Again, 4 runs, you still have a couple innings left. You only need 1 or 2 here or there, so should be fine as long as you try and keep Washington 2-5. Let your bats do the rest.
And we'd like to thank Jake from State Farm for sponsoring today's game. You can call him at 309-444-4441 or visit JakeWestonInsurance.com. And, John, back in that second inning, the Panthers really got some insurance runs with those 2 outs.
Yeah, they certainly did, and especially early, you want to just build that lead more and more. 1 run in the 6th inning is going to feel a lot more different than a run in the 2nd inning. But you put 5 together in the 2nd inning, then that again feels a lot different as well. So they did get those insurance runs, and Jake Weston will be proud. He'll certainly take care of you over right here in Washington.
There's a bunt attempt fouled off the third base side. Leading off for the Purple Raiders is Witt, today's starting center fielder, looking to find something, any way to get on base. Here's the 0-1. Another bunt attempt on the third base line, and that was a hard one, but it went foul.
That one was right on the chalk as well, which, by the way, that third base line wasn't there at about 7:40 a.m. A little bit grounds crew had to, they had to a little bit of a shortened window to get the field ready, but it looks great. Got the lines all painted and everything. So, also shout out to them as well because they had to, put in a lot more, at least more manual labor than we did this morning. So,
and a swing and a miss from Witt. She chased the low and away outside pitch for the first out. Yeah, early morning for everybody. The teams, our broadcasters, Patrick on camera, and then even the grounds crew. Early morning for them, but certainly, appreciation for all grounds crew everywhere. They do a lot of work behind the scenes that not many people see, and their work is greatly appreciated because with them or without them, we wouldn't be able to put on games like today.
Exactly, and we saw Clint Reed again, the guy who threw out the ceremonial first pitch, longtime coach for Washington. He, took care of this field. He was the main groundskeeper for quite some time, so he knows a thing or two about keeping it looking nice. But it really does, and you look out there at the grass. It almost looks turf-like as Flesser gets. I was gonna say strike 3, but no, that's strike 2. But
that was a nasty off-speed though. It got Hoder way ahead of that one, and she rolls over to shortstop. Harris fires over in time for the second out. I mean, yeah, just judging by the reaction of the crowd, you would have thought it was, the third strike, but that pitch, it was a changeup, but it seemed to just stop right before home plate, got the swing, and then it proceeded to go. Kind of out like a different sport, but like a Space Jam kind of move.
Yeah, no. Flesser's had some really, really good off-speed pitches today. I saw, one that curveball is dropped earlier. Just nothing really much you can do there. So again, this is the first time I've seen her pitch. She's usually the third baseman, but her and Bailey Herrick switched today, and Flesser has pitched well in the circle. She hadn't pitched much earlier in the season. She's only pitched a couple of games recently, but was pretty much just the almost everyday third baseman. That one nearly hits Lavelle.
Yeah, and John, for not being the team's ace, probably so far through 3 2/3, she's only allowed the 1 hit.
Yeah, there's that home run to Vetter, who's on deck right now. So if you are Flester, you probably wanted to get out of the inning right now and save Vetter for the 5th inning.
There's 3-1 low and taken for the walk. So Vetter will have a base runner as she comes up to the plate again. And, going back to it, John, 2-out walks, you never want to issue those, and especially now when you have a hitter like Vetter coming up to the plate.
And Vetter came into this one hitting .250 on the year, and first home run of the season back in that second inning. He's had 4 doubles and a triple this year.
Here's the 1-0 to Vetter. Another changeup. That one just missed to make 2-0. Yeah, just another changeup that just stops in midair. For Flessner, she's throwing a lot of junk today, whether that be the changeup or the curveball. Here's the 2-0, taken high for ball 3, and now Vetter way up 3-0.
Yeah, and if you're Flessner, you could obviously, maybe throw away a pitcher. Maybe you don't want to risk giving up a home run. Just, put Vetter on and see what you can do. But I would try to go low, not quite high enough for a strike.
So now back-to-back walks issued by Flessner with 2 away here in the top of the 4th, as McKinley will go check on her pitcher, maybe just give her a breather, kind of relax and reset the situation as Nichols, the right fielder, steps up to the plate.
I saw Flessner share a smile there with McKinley. Pretty lighthearted conversation there with her. McKinley. Great camera work by Patrick Cooper again behind our camera, but now Nichols a chance to do some damage, add on her season total of 3 RBIs.
This is a big chance for the Purple Raiders to fight their way back into this ball game. There's a swing and a miss from Nichols, and going to third is Lavelle. And on the back end, that was Vetter also taking second. So 2 away now, 2 runners in scoring position, and this is a critical moment in this game for Bloomington. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Makes the count 1-2.
I'm not sure I haven't chalked up how many strikeouts Flessner's had today, but she's, I think, at least got a handful. That's 5.
Oh, sorry, 4. I'm not good at counting. There's a ground ball to Herrick and takes care of the damage. 5-3 put out from the Panthers as Herrick, she's been busy over there at third today. A lot of ground balls coming her way, but it remains a 5-1 game. Going into the middle of the 4th here at Jan Smith Memorial Field, we'll see Vetter take the circle yet again for the Purple Raiders.
Well, we have a chance, though, we mentioned, graduation. It's a hot topic today. Again, Bloomington head coach Rachel Querchan getting her master's degree from ISU today. Very fun. Want to give a massive shout out to 2 of our own staff members. They're graduating today as well. 2 longtime, workers and friends of our company as well. Graduated from Bradley University, their bachelor's degrees in sports communication today. Francisco Alonso, longtime CSM staff member from Guatemala City, Guatemala. I became acquainted with Paco his freshman year. I was a sophomore. And, Paco's first year was with us during the COVID year, back when that was such a wild time. Every high school sport was played during the spring. We were insanely busy. Paco had, gotten so much great experience and has done so much good work for us, whether it's, behind the photography camera, behind the video camera, on social media, wherever else. Paco has been an awesome part of our operation, and we would not be where we are today without his efforts through the last 3.5 years. So congratulations to Paco for graduating later today. I think we'll both be there, Owen.
Yeah, we certainly will. A lot of, both of our time at Bradley University, we've grown to a lot of relationships with everybody, especially in the sports comm department. And a lot of good friends graduating today, and we'll continue to support them as they embark on their sports media journeys.
Certainly, and it's really, I was thinking the other day, it really kind of is crazy to think about, where the alumni of CSM have gone on to work. Josh Schwam works in a hybrid role for Yes Network and the New York Yankees. Larry Larson, one of the company's co-founders, he was the broadcaster for the Beloit Skycart for their first 2 seasons as a franchise, and then now he's down broadcasting the Dunedin Blue Jays, the Florida State League, down there just north of Tampa, low A affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays. Joey Wright, the other co-founder, one of the lead sports reporters at the Champaign News-Gazette, one of the most respected newspapers in the entire state. Jacob Steinberg, video guy. He's now the director of creative production at Bradley. He's the guy behind all of their highlight tapes for many different sports as well. So, I mean, really, it's crazy to see where, our CSM staff have gone on to go. And I know that Paco will go on somewhere as well. We have another one coming up later, but we'll save him his own spot later on, as it's now 3-2 to Harris.
Yeah, certainly, John. And I'm still freshly new to the company, just being my second year.
I wouldn't say you're a seasoned vet at this point. I mean, this is your second year, so you'll be going on year 3 next year. I mean, it's pretty much next year already, at least in.
Yeah, but just a lot of great people to have been able to share a broadcast booth with or share carpools with. We've gone on great adventures, and just can't say enough of everybody that we have here at Clutch Sports Media. There's a strikeout to Harris to lead off the inning.
And nice strikeout there from veteran. Again, strikeouts are her thing. Came in this one with 144 on the season in about 92 innings. So, yeah, she's striking out about a batter and a half per inning, which is a pretty impressive mark when you think about it.
And the first pitch to Swanson is taken outside for ball 1. Swanson so far today 1 for 2 with a double. That was an RBI back in the second.
Speaking of big numbers, though, and something that also keep an eye on today that could make a special day even more special for Washington. Stephanie Lawson, at least according to IHSA records, again, that's what we're going off of, sits at 249 career wins. Today would mark win number 250 for a quarter way to 1,000. How about that?
There's poked into shortstop and underneath the glove of Shuey. That was going to be a tough play regardless, being a one-hopper, but Swanson reaches with the one-out hit. Yeah, that would be something for Lawson to record her 250th win on the 50th anniversary.
Hey, a lot of big numbers divisible by 5, big milestones for sure.
And the bunt attempt peeled back by Flessner, and going into second was Swanson. I think she recognized that one was going to be in the dirt and just took off and got a great jump on it. If that one gets to the backstop, I think she's got enough momentum to carry over to third base as well.
Yeah, and we've seen some of the speed that these Washington players have. Layla Harris leaking out that, well, it wasn't a triple because there was an error on the play, but reached third base on an error back in that third inning. And Swanson's got some speed as well. Cami Barth almost beat out a bunt, so this Washington team can run pretty good.
And a big whiff right there from Flessner makes the count 2-1. Still 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Swanson on at second after she singled in the 6th hole and then stole. There's another hack from Flessner. Straight back into the fence behind us, or in front of us. Evens count 2-2. Batters ready. 2-2. Swung on, drove into left field. One hops into the glove of Stevenson, and rounding third, play at the home. She doesn't slide, and that's an out at the play. Wow. A great relay from Cratcher to Stevenson to Lavelle. And, John, I don't know why Swanson wasn't sliding on that attempt. I feel like if she would have slid, she would have gotten underneath the tag and in safely. But a huge relay for the second out as the Raiders keep it a 4-run game.
That's a massive, massive play for Bloomington. Great job there fielding it at Cratcher, and then getting the cutoff in as McKinley flies this one into right. And just like that, Bloomington escapes unscathed. Again, tough play there, for if you are Washington. Yeah, you want to get down and slide, but again, you don't really know where that ball is. Maybe you think that, okay, there's still enough time for me to get in without having to slide. So, again, not really much Swanson could do unless she had eyes in the back of her head right there. But just more so a great play from the Purple Raiders that helps keep this one a 4-run contest as we march on in.
That last play, too. Usually you see the on-deck hitter get to home plate as essentially the eyes of the runner, and they give you the indicator whether you're going to be down or if you're going to stay up. And I wasn't really paying attention because I wanted to see the relay and then the tag, but I'm not sure if the on-deck hitter was there to kind of communicate to the runner if she was going to be sliding or up. But, no matter what, great play from the Purple Raider defense. They practice relays all the time, and, sometimes you have to use them, sometimes you don't, depending on where the ball goes and where you're going to be going with the ball, but that time was executed perfectly.
Certainly was.
And once again, big thanks to Jake Weston at State Farm for helping us put on today's broadcast. You can call him at 309-444-4441 or visit JakeWestonInsurance.com.
You can also visit his office right there on the main row when you come into Washington, just down the street from Washington High School, so pretty visible office right there. Stop by if you're in town, again, for all of your insurance needs.
Leading off in the 5th inning for the Purple Raiders is the third baseman, Stevenson. She was part of that relay in the previous inning. That one's spiked in the dirt for ball 2.
Yeah, Stevenson and Krasher, again, left side of the field has really come to play defensively for Bloomington today, and it's defense part of the game that maybe doesn't show up on the stat sheet as much, maybe overlooked at times, but those plays really do have a big effect in games. And if Bloomington is able to get back into this one, tally some runs, they're going to look back at that and say, hey, that's kind of what got it all started for us.
Certainly, and now a 3-0 count to Stevenson. She watches that one for strike 1. Bloomington looking for any sort of offense right now is just one hit, and they've had 2 walks. There's a slow dribbler back to Flessner. She'll fire over to Redlingshaver in time for out number 1. Flessner fell behind 3-1, but was able to get the slow grounder right in front of her.
Left fielder number 10, Ava Krasher.
And again, still, I believe, just that only hit for Bloomington, that home run from Vetter back in the 2nd. Again, that was after both pitchers struck out the side in the 1st inning, in case you're just tuning in.
Top of the 5th here at Jan Smith Field, a 5-1 Washington lead here on a beautiful Saturday morning in May. There's strike number 1 from Flessner. John, when I think of high school softball, baseball games, early mornings like this, you usually smell the grill, kind of whatever they got cooking over there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't really quite smelt anything yet, as the concession's probably, further down away.
Yeah, I would need the nose of a bloodhound to probably, smell it from here. All the concessions inside of a building and grill not out in the open. But I tell you, a couple weeks ago, I think I texted the Clutch Sports Media group chat about it. I was at DMAC taking pictures for a baseball game, and they had a grill behind home plate. Great, small town atmosphere there at DMAC. Nice crisp Saturday morning. Not too hot, not too cold. A lot of fans out there and everything. And I was like, man, there's
a liner to Herrick, and she was right there for Herrick, putting together a stellar defensive day at third. Keep going, John.
No, I don't want to interrupt that. It was an amazing play there from Herrick. Glove just in the right spot at the right time. But I think I texted the Clutch Sports Media group chat, and I said, hey, I'm like, nothing beats, a crisp Saturday morning, smelling the grill, beat at a baseball stadium at DMAC.
And another fly out to Cammie Barth in center field, and that's the 3rd out as the Purple Raiders go 1-2-3. Yeah, John, I've been to DMAC before, especially in the fall for football season when they got the pork chops out, and those are fantastic pork chop sandwiches that they got over there.
Certainly, and Washington, I've had Washington's pork chop sandwich as well. That one also ranks among one of my favorites as well. Always love being at Babcock Field for football season, which believe it or not, Owen, not too terribly far from now, about 3 months, we're going to be knee deep in football previews, for the upcoming fall season. Everything should be lots of fun. A new era for Panthers football. Daryl Crouch retiring and Todd Stevens, defensive coordinator, taking over, but should be lots of fun over there in Washington. If we're talking pork chops, though, I gotta say my favorite one ever was from Farmington. You gotta try a Farmington pork chop. Just amazing.
Yeah, John, it was funny when I first got down here. I'm from Wisconsin, and when I first joined Clutch Sports Meeting, we were doing the high school football games. You guys were telling me all about the staple of the pork chop sandwich at all these high school concession stands, and I'm like, a pork chop sandwich? You don't really see that up north in Wisconsin.
It's more of an Illinois thing for sure.
Yeah, and so when I heard you guys talking about it, I'm like, it's a hot commodity because you guys were talking about it, and everybody's lined up for it. And so my first one ever was at DMAC when I had theirs, and I'm like, you know what? I think it lives up to the hype.
They know how to work a grill out there for sure. I'm not sure how Washington's concession stand we're done. Hopefully they'll keep it open for us because I had a little granola bar this morning, but that was about it. So we'll satisfy the old stomach after this game. We've had some great softball to munch on here so far today. Washington still hanging on to that 5-1 lead, and I think for Bloomington, it's just a matter of, are you going to be able to get to Flessner here in these next 2 innings or so?
Yeah, as it's getting to crunch time in this one in the bottom of the 5th, as Herrick at the plate right now in a 3-1 count. She's had a very good day for Washington defensively, making plays, a lot of ground outs her way, and then the previous inning she had a line out right at the glove near the dirt, and then she homered back in the second, 3-1, and she walks.
And like we said, Herrick, again, a senior for Washington, one of their most experienced players that pitches and hits both at a high level. And, so it's a player that, really is, wants to make as big of an impact as possible here in her, last couple games with Washington. Hopefully wants to extend that a little bit more. But I was going to say before Riley Vedder hit that home run, his glove squares to bunt. Aren't Washington and Bloomington playing each other in the playoffs?
Yep, they
first
are.
Round,
they are scheduled to play each other in the first round.
So that makes this game a whole lot more interesting. Obviously, seedings are already set. Nothing is going to change at this point, so it's not like you're just playing just to get more experience, build some momentum at this point, and everything like that. But maybe a preview of what's to come in a couple weeks.
So back-to-back fouled bunt attempts from Glob. And yeah, John, just going to, forward with the whole meeting each other in the playoffs for the first time. Now that I think about it, I think maybe that's the reason why Herrick is not in the circle today. They want to save her for that playoff game. They don't want to show their hand too much. There's another spike in the dirt. And Herrick takes second, and she rounds hard, going into third, slides in safely. Great heads-up play from Herrick.
And a good throw there from Lavelle. I believe the throw beat Herrick, but the tag did not. It was a little bit of a tough play for Stevens. Had to kind of just, swivel her body around to tag Herrick, who got in nicely. And, really good base running there from Washington. They've certainly got the intangibles done right today.
There's a swing and a miss from Glob. That's the first out of the inning. And, John, you talk about 5-tool players. That's, one way to highlight a player's overall ability to impact a team. The 5 tools being hitting, defense, base running, stealing, and do you know the 5th?
I think it's hitting for power, defense, running, and I don't know why I can't think of the other one right now. It's early, folks.
But still, the 5-tool,
yes.
Term could be used for Herrick today. As we saw her round the bases, she knocks that one out of that category. Hitting, she's been on base and hits the home run. Defense, and then we all know about her pitching ability as well. So
that's true. Yeah, no, that's an astute observation right there. I think right now, if we had to pick a game MVP, I'd say it's either her or Flessner right now. Flessner's work in the circle is been really big for Washington. Obviously, this, I believe, is one of her only starts of the season, I believe. I think this, if I'm not mistaken, I think her third.
A great bunt attempt there from Redling Schaefer as Lavelle couldn't do much with it. She knew she couldn't throw it down to first because Herrick would recognize that and take home plate. So they're just going to let her take first rather than give up the run.
Yeah, that was a great bunt. Just kind of just spun dead but stayed in the field of play. So, I mean, it's a picture-perfect bunt there from Redling Schaefer, who gets a single out of it, as we'll get a courtesy runner. Looks like that's Gabby Meischner coming in to run at first base.
Running at first base, number 12, Gabby Meischner.
Kind of going to the bench now, get some players into the game.
Now batting for the Panthers.
Yeah, John, you know, we were talking about Herrick being a possible player of the game candidate. You know, it makes me laugh just thinking about our basketball season when we covered the manual shootout. And, you know, kind of just our, like, joke of the day was our player of the game getting a tortilla. And so,
that's right.
You know, we don't have tortillas.
Unfortunately, I did not bring the tortillas today. But, yeah, that was quite a time. In case you know, that's a little bit more of an inside joke. But, you know, long day of basketball, broadcasting the manual shootout back in late January. And, you know, during a long day of broadcasting, one gets pretty hungry. So I brought some snacks. And one of my favorite snack foods is Meischner takes second. Is tortillas. And so I just, you know, put a bag of Mission tortillas in my bag, and I pulled it out when you guys got there. I said, hey, look what I got for a snack today. Everyone's laughing at me like it's so crazy. I'm like, what? I love tortillas. They're a great snack food, fills you up. And we made the joke that we'd give a player of the game tortilla to the player of the game. So don't have any, though, today, unfortunately. So our apologies to whoever the eventual winner would be.
Maybe we can talk to concessions, get like a hot dog or something. There's a
Maybe.
hot liner past the shortstop. Shuey it brings 1 and 2 across. So a huge 2 RBI single from, I believe that was that was O'Connell.
Boy, she is having an amazing game. 3 for 3 on the day now and 2 RBIs. How about Olivia O'Connell? I think she's now in the player of the game conversation as well. Great day hitting for her again, down in the 8th spot. So, and now Washington leads 7-1. Another
running at first base,
courtesy
6,
runner.
Gray.
That's Elena Gray.
And we'll get a pinch hitter as
yep.
well.
That'll be Brooklyn Bowman, number 21,
Now
the
Panthers,
junior.
number 21.
How about this, Owen? Brooklyn Bowman has had an interesting week. Already won a state championship with Washington's music department earlier this week. Her, along with, I believe, Tara Eloise and Ellie Redling Schaefer.
That one hits off the fence as Bowman powered that one. First pitch swinging and gets a 1-out double all the way to the fence. And out there in left field it was Cratcher, and she hit the fence hard. You got to hope that she's okay. Kind of dusting off. Not sure if is there a warning track out there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I'm not sure if the dust was from was from third base or from deep in left field. Played a little bit of an illusion there on us, but Barth will re-enter to run at second base. She's got some speed, certainly, as you know. Stephanie Lawson says, "Hey, we'll get some of the other girls into the game." It will be Harris, though, back to bat at the top of the order. And now if you're Bloomington, again, still only 1 out. You got 2 runners on base, and you know now you're trailing 7-1. So a really precarious position the Purple Raiders are in.
Yeah, just digging themselves another hole. The innings where the Panthers score, they've loaded the innings. They're a great slide. Brings in the run, and also a great bunt attempt from Harris as she gets an RBI.
Yeah, nice job there. I was watching Harris on the first baseline. I think that was I had my eyes on Harris. You had your eyes on home plate. We had everything covered there, Owen. So we get to go to first as well. So
now an 8-1 lead for the Panthers. Yeah, as I was saying, that when they score a handful. There was 5 back in the second inning and already 3, possibly more here in the 5th, as there's only 1 out with runners at second and third.
And you know, and now that you know that put Bloomington obviously in a tough position even more so because, again, you have the runners on first and third. You can do the old thing where, hey, we'll send the runner from first, and, if the catcher were to throw it, they could maybe get the runner at second, but then that allows the runner on third to come in and score. So unless you want to risk that, you just have to let him steal second, which in that case Harris did, and now all of a sudden you're got 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out, no double play possibility at least at the moment, and Swanson up at bat.
Here's the 2-1 to Swanson. Swung on in, out of play, pop foul. Yeah, and usually you see it the runners at the corners. Most coaches will send their runner at first. But also from the defensive side, yeah, I mean, you're right that they're going to let them just take second base, but usually sometimes you see the catcher just fire right back to the pitcher, kind of as if they're going to throw all the way down. See if you can get the third base runner just lacking a little bit.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
We always had designated calls, whether you throw all the way down or you have like the shortstop come in and cut it off and throw home, or you just go right back to the pitcher. There's a lot into it that most people don't see, as that one's poked into shallow right center, and that falls. Scoring 1, and Panthers will keep runners at the corners yet again, but another run comes across for Washington here in the 5th.
And it's great hitting by every player up and down the lineup. I'm not sure, again, who's all got hits and everything today. You got the box score. I just have my notes in front of me while also making sure we know who's up at bat there on your scoreboard, top left of your screen. But, I mean, I think, most players from Washington probably have had a hit today. And, now if you're Bloomington, that runner Swanson on first base, that represents the winning run from Washington. If they go up 11-1, we're through. This is the 5th inning, so that'll be the run rule victory. So, unless you can prevent her from scoring, Washington may send us to a premature ending in this one.
Yeah, so I tallied up all the hits so far for Washington. 12 as a team. Just getting the job done at the plate so far. Only 2 players haven't recorded a hit yet, and that is Malone McKinley and Glob as well. So both of them still have yet to even reach base, but still 1 away here. That one fouled sharply down the third base line, makes the count 0-1. And yet again, just 1 out remaining as Vetter remains in the circle. Vetter getting the sign. Maybe watch Swanson to see if she takes second here. Here's the 0-1. She takes off and hitting the deep center at the warning track and over the fence. And that will wrap it up today. Wow. A walk-off 3-run shot by Flesner. It's the 2nd home run of the day by the Panthers. Makes it 12-1, and that's going to be the mercy rule.
Holy cow. What a game from the Washington Panthers. So we talked about this one, this one, maybe, going into this, I generally thought it would be, it's going to be a tightly contested game, but Washington, they hit for power, they had clutch hitting, great pitching from Flesner, walk-off 3-run homer from the Valparaiso commit, pitches a very strong game, 5 innings. I believe just 1 hit allowed. It was that home run to Riley Vetter, a handful of strikeouts as well, and what a performance in front of a large home crowd. 50th anniversary of Washington softball, and that has got to feel really, really good for Stephanie Lawson and her team.
Just a great day for the Washington faithful. Looking across the box score for the Panthers and in the stat sheet, just great performances. You mentioned it, just all around pitching, defense, offense as well, putting up the 12 runs. Flesner was outstanding today, only allowing the 1 hit and the 1 run pitching, and then today she hits the 3-run walk-off and tallied 4 total RBIs with the home run and a double, 3 hits in total.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier, maybe Bailey Herrick or or Flessner taking the unofficial player of the game, and I gotta say it's got to be Flessner now at this point. And I just what a game, for her. Just getting it done, help out her own cause and everything. Even if she didn't hit that 3-run home run, she was pitching well enough, I think, to, at least have a good chance of keeping Washington in the lead and winning that game as they now move up to a game above 500 at 13-12. Bloomington falls to 7-11. But, it really should be fun next time these teams face off again. Next time, if you're Bloomington, it's all right. You can afford to lose this game. This game, still means something, but again, the seeding's already been determined. The playoff pairings and matchups have already been determined as well. You're just looking to, kind of feel out your opponent, get to, obviously familiarize yourself, and just an opportunity to get better. And I'm sure they will after today. This will, no one wants to lose in a run rule game, but this should fire them up. And I think they'll be coming out strong for their next game as well. But major props to Washington, though, who left no doubt after that 5-run second inning.
Yeah, and there's takeaways for both teams in this game. For Washington, knowing the offensive explosion that you had in this game throughout the lineup, it really gives you confidence moving forward into the playoffs that you can hit like that, and then also have another pitcher in Flessner to go along with Herrick as you move forward. And even for Bloomington, yeah, I mean it's a 12-1 loss. You never want to do that, but this is still huge experience for them moving forward as they're going to match up with Washington again in the playoffs. You're always going to have scouting reports on teams, but the best scouting report is always going to be when you can play them beforehand. That's how you're going to get their, see them best is live right in front of you, playing a game against them. And so Bloomington is going to look back on this one and see, okay, what can we do differently? How can we attack them differently in the playoff game? Washington was very aggressive today, both at the plate and then on the base pass. They were extremely aggressive, and that was a key reason why they put up 12 runs today and had such an offensive attack against this Purple Raider. And, we cut the broadcast short as we were, not really expecting it.
No.
And we still had one more of our Clutch Sports media members to honor today.
That's right,
as
yes.
he's graduating.
Again, also want to shout out Rodrigo Perez. He's been a part of Clutch Sports Media for quite some time as well. Also involved with, Bradley Student Broadcast Group, as well as the sports editor of the Bradley Scout. One of the people to follow up after, I left. I was the sports editor 2 years ago. He's done a great job alongside Mason Clem this year. And congratulations to Rodrigo on graduating. And again, not sure if he'll be, around or, working with us anymore. But, maybe, who knows, maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll, come back in town. But, again, Rodrigo has done so much stuff behind the scenes. Hasn't always been on the call. Has been a couple of times, but, Rodrigo has done so much to help bring Clutch Sports Media broadcast the past couple of years to the viewers, behind the scenes, producing, directing, running great cameras. I mean, he is, a jack of all trades, and he can really just do it all, and he has done so much stuff for us. So congratulations to Rodrigo alongside Francisco Alonso, who we affectionately call Paco, as on their graduations from Bradley University today, as well as, again, Rachel Quaritch from Bloomington getting her master's one step up down at Illinois State University in Normal today. So not the outcome that she hoped for, but, again, an opportunity to, get better. And I think, you mentioned one last thing, Owen, that you mentioned earlier was, Washington pitching Flessner, not their normal pitcher. Usually it's Herrick. Washington, the advantage there is okay. If they throw Herrick in the postseason game, then Bloomington, haven't seen her yet. The thing is, if you're Riley Vedder, though, Washington's hitters because you faced them before. That's the advantage that they have is, Vedder is going to be more accustomed to seeing them. So either way, should be lots of fun rest of the way out. One more week of the regular season, and then it's winter go home time here at IHSA softball.
Yep, it's getting to the finishing line. We talked about earlier the Kentucky Derby and the NASCAR finish, some great finishes, and expecting more great finishes here in the high school athletic landscape. And that'll do it for here today at Jan Smith Memorial Field at the 50th anniversary kind of celebration here at Washington Park as the Panthers take down the Purple Raiders of Bloomington 12-1. Big thank you to Patrick Huber manning the camera behind us. And as for my partner, Jonathan Michael, I'm Owen Dimfel signing off
Also want to thank Jake Weston one more time. The game was cut short as well, but again, Jake Weston, his broadcast would not be possible without him. So want to make sure that we guys, extra word for him again, despite the game being cut short. So, but again, want to thank Jake as well, and also you as well, Owen, for waking up at 8 a.m. or I should say waking up and being here by 8 a.m. as well as Patrick as well. It was a lot of fun. Early morning of softball. It was well worth it.
Yep, certainly. Great game, great production crew. We'll see you next time on CSM. Thank you.